What's up, guys? Welcome back to Deck Tech for Decks. I'm your host, Caleb. If you want to support me, you can always use the TCGPlayer link in the description down below, or as always, just liking, commenting, subscribing. Boosting that algorithm will do the trick. Now, let's get into today's Deck Tech with Lord of the Nazgûl. And honestly, guys, this is just Talrand Sky Summoner on steroids. Additionally, hey, we have access to black, which gives us access to all of those ritual effects, right? So we can just storm off even harder, cast even more spells, and make even more giant creatures, such as those 9/9 wraiths, which is kind of insane. But guys, I came to the conclusion I want to get there even faster. Yes, faster than casting 8 cantrips and or those ritual effects, because remember, our commander is a wraith already, so we only need 8. So 8 cantrips or rituals, but like I said, not fast enough. So what can we do? We can clone this guy. Yes, there's like 5 cloning effects that we can use to clone our commander to make a non-legendary copy, and then you just need 4 cantrips. That's super easy. And then you're just smacking people with 9/9s with menace, which is honestly something that can end games. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to try to do it as fast as possible. And if that sounds like a deck tech you want to get into, let's get into it. Alright, let's start off by covering the fun stuff, and we can cover the cantrips later. The first thing we need to do is copy our commander. Sakashima of 1,000 Faces and Sakashima the Imposter are perfect for this. Spark Double and Vile Duplications are also super solid cards to get a copy of our commander that's not legendary. And then we can use something like Rite of Replications. Now, even if we have Sakashima to get rid of the legend rule, we can use this, but 9 times out of 10, we will have to copy our commander with one of these other effects before we can get any use of Rite of Replications, right? So that will end you with 7 copies of our commander, right? The original one, the first one we copied, and then we're going to get 5 copies off of the Rite of Replication. Now we just get 7 9/9 wraiths whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell. Now that kind of sounds busted to me, so I want to try it out. We also play other token generators, such as Ethereal Investigator. Now we're going to get some clue tokens on top of just creating a lot of 1/1 spirits. Murmuring Mystic and Talrand Sky Summoner also appear in this deck. Surprise, surprise. Alondra Sky Dreamer. Now, this one's a little bit harder to get off, but still super solid. As long as we play our cantrips smartly, we can get some drakes here and there. But I can guarantee you, we're definitely going to make sure we get 1 drake on our turn consistently. Gale the Waterdeep, super solid. It's going to give us some access to our graveyard. If we cast an instant, we can cast a sorcery spell. If we cast a sorcery spell, we get access to all of our instants. So he's just some solid advantage, right? Arcane Proxy. This guy, sky's the limit. We're probably not casting him from 7 mana, but hey, getting a spell back on a body, not terrible. Demi-Lich, we can cast this guy from our graveyard. Additionally, hey, we can probably just cast this guy for free. Cast 4 cantrips, throw them onto the battlefield, and now we have access to our graveyard. Another thing that gives us access to our graveyard is Sword of Once and Future. We are running a lot of low CMC spells, so this is going to give us access to 90% of those. Isochron Scepter, super solid. Just imprint your favorite card in your hand at the time, and then enjoy having that for the rest of the game. Dark Petition, we are going to 100% hit that spell mastery threshold, so this is basically just a demonic tutor in the deck for half the price. You gotta love that. And last but not least, we have Mystical Tutor. 9 times out of 10, we're searching for that Vile Duplication. But hey, if the board has gotten out of control, getting a board wipe will also be pretty, understandable. Now we can move on to those boring cantrips, and I'm gonna zoom through these because again, they're just cantrips. We have Brainstorm, Preordain, Opt, Consider, Anticipate, Impulse, Gitaxium Probe, Frantic Search, and a little bit of different one, Narset's Reversal. This one can be flexible because we can use it on our opponent's cards, but hey, like I said, 9 times out of 10, you're going to cast a cantrip, send the cantrip back to your hand, and cast the cantrip again, just to create 3 of those wraiths. As I said earlier, the added benefit of having black is rituals. We can play Cabal Ritual, Cooling the Weak, pretty solid, right? Dark Ritual. We can even play cards like Bubbling Muck and High Tide. So now we basically have double mana. Now it is conditional, but hey, double mana and Dimir, you gotta love it. Moving on to that card advantage, we have Fairy Mastermind. Super solid. Ledger Shredder. Again, this will help us draw cards on our opponent's turns. Archmage Emeritus. This is going to get us a ton of card advantage. Wavebreak Hippocamp can turn our cantrips into literally just drawing 2 cards instead of 1, as long as we're casting them on our opponent's turn, and this will kind of make our board state a secret, right? You don't want to create 5 wraiths and then pass turn. You want to create the wraiths on your opponent's turns and then untap with 5 wraiths. That's the way to go. Pour Over the Pages, just a solid thing that draws you some cards while untapping some lands. Sign in Blood, Knight's Whisper, and Read the Bones, solid black cards that kind of feel cantrippy, but they're actually card advantage. Teferi's Ageless Insight, this is going to be amazing for those cantrips, right? So now we're actually getting card advantage off of our cantrips instead of just card replacement. Then it had some wheel effects because, hey, cantrip decks, you can just kind of lock yourself into drawing the top card of your library, so it's important to refill or replenish the hand. Windfall, Echoes of Eons, and Time Reversal. Notably, Echo of Eons and Time Reversal will throw all of your cantrips that are in your graveyard back into your library, and it will screw the graveyard player over while doing it, so it's kind of solid. Moving on to ramp, we have Cryptcast. The extort ability is going to be super useful on this, and I always do cover this just to let you guys know. Since that Orzhov Pip is in the reminder text and not actually a part of the card, this is a mono black card. And on top of that, it just doubles our black mana, which is going to be super solid. Ornithopter of Paradise, Bird of Paradise, but hey, taps for mana, Charcoal Diamond, Sky Diamond, super efficient, Talisman of Dominance, and then we run Arcane Signet and Dimir Signet. Now, this is basically just so we can ensure that we are ramping on turn 2 because that's one of the most powerful things you can do early game. Wayfarer's Bauble, Soul Ring are also going to make sure, again, we're getting that ramp done on the early turns and not the later turns. Moving on to removal, I wanted to keep it on the cheap. And sadly, yes, I'm talking about converted mana cost, I'm not talking about real dollars. Dismember, Rapid Hybridization, and Reality Shift are going to get rid of all of those creature issues. Notably, hey, Reality Shift and Dismember can even get rid of indestructible creatures. Then we have our counterspell package with Negate, Counterspell, An Offer You Can't Refuse, and Swan Song. All super solid cards to make sure, hey, a board wipe isn't coming your way. Because when you have a whole board full of 9/9/9s, you're kind of maybe a little bit a target. Exclude, a little more expensive, but hey, it does counter anything and it will draw you a card, so it's probably worth it. Especially since you don't get punished that much for holding open mana in this deck because we always have some cantrips to throw our mana at. Raise the Palisade is going to be amazing as a board wipe because hey, we're running a lot of Wraiths, so we can bounce every other creature than Wraiths and then just swing in with some 9/9s. Toxic Deluge, hey, this just got a reprint, so pick it up now. It's a super solid staple in all of these commander decks, especially, hey, when your creatures are going to be 9/9s. Last but not least, we have Cyclonic Rift. Let's be honest, this one's the boogeyman of the format. We're going to bounce everybody else's permanents, and we're going to keep ours untouched, and then smack them with a bunch of 9/9s, because that's fair magic, everybody. With that being said, guys, that brings me to the end of the video. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped you in your deck building endeavors, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Oh, also, if you wanted to let me know if you guys think this is Talrand on steroids, yeah, that's the consensus, right?